Is there a demonic invasion in the Bible? Yes, well, that's a great question. And I would propose to you that there is, which is really interesting. Great question because just a couple days ago, Elon Musk made the statement that by 2040, there will be more robots than there are humans. And so I want you to keep that in the back of your mind as we dive into what we're about to unpack, because it seems like there's a possibility that these two things could go hand in hand. But you decide, because we're looking in the future here, and it's rather difficult to be for sure on what it's going to look like. But in Revelation chapter 9, what's good to remember in this book of the revelation of Jesus Christ is here John is looking into the future, and he's describing the trumpet judgments. And this is going to be the first woe trumpet judgment, which is where the angel in Revelation 8:13 was like, whoa, 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 because you haven't seen anything yet. So in Revelation chapter 9, verse 1 through 12, you see John is describing an angel. He goes and he opens the bottomless pit, and out of this bottomless pit comes all these locust-like looking things. And that's just the way that John describes it. He can't tell you what it is because he doesn't know exactly how to describe it. So it's kind of like if you imagine yourself being going back in time 2,000 years and you see an airplane, you wouldn't know how to describe it, so you would say something along the lines of, well, it looks like a bird, but it's going really fast and it's really loud and all this kind of stuff. That's how you would describe it. But here in Revelation chapter 9, he describes these locusts in verse 7. It says, the shape of the locust was like horses prepared for battle. On their heads were crowns of something like gold, and their faces were like the faces of men. They had hair like women's hair, and their teeth were like lions' teeth. And they had breastplates like breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots with many horses running into battle. They had tails like scorpions, and there were stings in their tails. Their power was to hurt men 5 months. Now, what's interesting about this is that this demonic invasion seems to be this is where we see the demonic invasion, but this is just the first demonic invasion. If you continue reading in Revelation chapter 9, verse 13 to the end of the chapter, you'll see a second demonic invasion. There are two different demonic invasions, as it seems, and the first one is where the demons will not be able to end the humans that are left on the earth during this time. But the second demonic invasion in Revelation chapter 9, verse 13 to the end of the chapter, they will be able to end mankind. And so that's very interesting. So you have two different events here in Revelation chapter 9. But what I want you to just pay attention to is in Revelation 9, you see these demons being unleashed on the earth. And so that's very provocative, because when you go back into the Old Testament in Joel chapter 2, it seems to be describing the same thing. Joel and John seem to be describing a very similar event. In Joel chapter 2, verse 1, it says, blow the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming, for it is at hand. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, like the morning clouds spread over the mountains. A people come, great and strong, the like of whom has never been, nor will there ever be any such after them. Even for many successive generations, a fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burns. The land is like the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Surely nothing shall escape them. Their appearance is the appearance of horses, and like swift steeds, so they run. With a noise like chariots, over mountaintops they leap, like the noise of a flaming fire that devours the stubble. Like a strong people set in battle array. Before them the people writhe in pain. All faces are drained of color. They run like mighty men. They climb the wall like men of war. Everyone marches in formation, and they do not break ranks. They do not push one another. Everyone marches in his own column. Though they lunge between the weapons, they are not cut down. They run to and fro in the city. They run on the wall. They climb into the houses. They enter at the windows like a thief. The earth quakes before them. The heavens tremble. The sun and moon grow dark, and the stars diminish their brightness. And so it goes on. But what I want you to pay attention to is that what Joel is describing here in Joel chapter 2 seems to be something where he's describing some kind of army, some kind of invasion that he is looking so far into the future. And he's like, I don't even know how to tell you what this is about, but I'm going to try my best to describe what I'm seeing. And this is what he describes. And so if you go back into Joel's day, you would describe it similar to what you're seeing in our world today, because what is now a reality is similar to what Elon Musk was talking about before. It's just a possibility. I'm not being definitive here. I'm just saying that what Joel is describing could very well be a demonic invasion that is also incorporated with robots. And I don't know. I'm not being definitive, but it's very fascinating because in Daniel chapter 2, what you find is Daniel talks about something being mixed with iron and clay. And it says they will mingle with the seed of men. Who is they? Well, whatever they is or they are is mixed with iron and clay. So you have two different kinds of breeds here, if you will. So it's very provocative. But yes, there is a demonic invasion that is the Bible describes. And it's not one, it's two. And that is documented in Revelation chapter 9. And I think that's very interesting. But hope this helps. Thanks.